been in quarantine, you're a dancer. How have you been able to upkeep your technique?
Sure.
Do you miss the stage? When do you know when you're going to be back on the stage? Talk us through that and how you coped with that.
Yeah, I mean, what was really, really hard was right before quarantine, we finished or just about finished a new creation
You were
that
supposed to have a premiere, right?
yeah,
Was it
premiere.
called Monster or
It was called Creature,
Creature?
and yeah, it was by Akram Khan,
Hmm.
um, who's an amazing choreographer here in the UK. But we were just about finished that, and then we had to go in quarantine, and we were supposed to perform it, um, which doesn't look like we will be performing it anytime soon. Um, but I mean, I can't talk too much about what we're gonna be doing because it's supposed to be announced, but hopefully soon, mid-July, we'll be back in the studio. What I've been doing in quarantine, I mean, like, I have basically my Marley right here,
Right. Okay.
my Marley floor, uh, and trying to take class every day. It's really, really difficult.
It's difficult. I was going to say.
Yeah, cross train. The way I've been being creative is like I worked on some video projects that I've been doing. I improv a lot,
Mhm.
so that kind of keeps my body going.
Do you think it's had, I mean, in thinking about coming back to the studio, do you think that it's had an impact on dancers and you think it'll be a difficult transition coming back from being in the, because I think a lot of people aren't thinking about the mental aspect of what quarantine has done to people, especially people who are in careers where it is that community. It is
Yeah.
very much human dance, of course. I mean, it's the epitome of human interaction and human contact and meeting another human being. Do you think it'll be difficult getting back into the studio? Do you think it'll be like getting right back into the groove of things?
I think a lot of people will be excited, but also they'll find it difficult. I think a lot of people during quarantine have really assessed their life
Yes, yes.
and really have thought like, okay, is this really what I want to be doing? Or I really want to be doing this. I need to be working harder uh, or creating other pathways to what they can be doing in
Right.
the future. Um, which I think is being really good because it's almost like quarantine has been like a reset button for everyone. And I've used it as kind of like a break for my body, but then also a time for thought,
Yeah.
which has been really good. And I know that I really want to be back and dancing and performing, but also creating as well.
So speaking of creating Cirio Collective, so you and Leah have started the Cirio Collective, which I think is brilliant. And this we were talking about a lot of things about community and giving back, and I know that you have initiatives there. So just speak to us about why
Yeah.
the dance collective and why what's the purpose and the mission of Cirio Collective?
Yeah. Yeah. So Leah and I wanted to always do something to employ friends. And because a lot of American companies, ballet companies, have summers off, they're laid off, we felt like maybe there could be a chance to employ friends or to utilize them in some way to
Mhm,
keep dancers in shape or even just be creative.
mhm,
At the time, I was choreographing a lot for Boston Ballet, and we saw that opportunity as why don't we start our own collective group of people where we create something in the summer, showcase it, or somehow get into festivals, have residencies, and work with different artists and create work and perform it.
mhm.
And that's kind of what it was. And what we really stand for is that we try to take two different art forms and put them together. And that's a lot. That happens a lot in the ballet world, obviously, with collaboration. So collaboration is a huge aspect of our work, as well as letting artists or choreographers really speak in a way where they don't have restriction to maybe have it in a normal company where they can be artists and kind of say what they want, create it and put it on a stage or put it on a platform where they that people can see it.
So
Um,
would you say that there's not when you're performing in like a normal company's repertoire, is there a lot of restriction? Is there not a lot of room for artistic expression as an artist?
and sometimes I think for a lot of companies they have to fit the bill, the triple bill, or they have to fit a certain standard that directors might want. And there is always restriction in massive companies.
So, okay, so it's dancers who are not working in the summer who come together and you create on each other.
Yeah, well, we tried to have a specific choreographer that year.
Okay.
So I've done works in the past. My sister has. We've had choreographers come in and work with us. We've had musicians work with us and videographers. We are hoping to eventually expand that. We had a plan on this year to do something that was kind of in that aspect, but didn't really work out because of quarantine. But this year, yeah, we're really just taking a step back and working.
Is there a performance aspect to the collective as well?
Yeah, and usually we perform at different festivals or have our own showcases. We've done the Joyce Theater in New York. We performed it in Mexico for a festival. We regularly go to Martha's Vineyard and do a small showcase in the Vineyard Arts Project, as
Right.
well as Cape Dance Festival. So we've had a bunch of venues bring us in and perform. Oh, Fire Island. We've done Fire Island Festival, which is an amazing festival out there. There's always an aspect of performing, but this year we really decided to like take a step back and work, not have a crunch time, really create work that we really want to be doing.
So if let's say a dancer was interested, could they just reach out to you and say, I want to be a part of the Cirio Collective? What's the criteria for selection, and also how is it funded?
We do have people that reach out.
Okay.
As of now, we've been keeping it pretty small. I think it's really like it's 6 years, but we've really taken baby steps. We're really trying to just keep it going. There have been people who have been interested and have reached out. Fortunately, we haven't taken anyone newish in that have been outside of our friend group or people of colleagues.
Okay.
And so we eventually want to start doing that. That's, I think, a goal of ours.
Right.
But as of now, we are really trying to keep it within the family until we can build even more momentum. Yeah, so a lot of it is obviously being a nonprofit. It's a lot of private funding as well as small donations from individuals. And then also reaching out to foundations that give out grant money for nonprofits. So it's an ongoing business, really, like all year round. Like we only do 2 to 3 weeks in the summer, but we're really working year round just to make those 3 weeks happen.
I have a lot of respect, especially for someone like you who, you obviously have a full-time career as a dancer, and then taking that and, turning that into a business as well.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm lucky. I have a team. I have a team of people. Like it's me, my sister, and our manager, he's now on Broadway, but he's our manager. So, and he's a longtime friend of ours.
Is it difficult working with friends and family, or is it easy?
It has its pros and cons. I mean, but it is easy because we're able to communicate and we know each other really well.
You worked in Europe and in the States.
Yeah.
What differences?
For me, like within the company, dancers are dancers. They speak the same language. There's always that common ground of the language and knowing what dancers are like. Speaking on, I guess, the cultural aspect or the theater aspect of it, I think people of the US are a little bit more rowdier in the theaters. And I think with the English, they're very reserved.
What does that mean, rowdy Jeff?
No, I'm a rowdy. I mean, I'm American, so I mean, maybe I just think we're just
we're expressive,
Expressive. Thank you. That's the perfect word. That's the perfect word. I think some people are a bit reserved here in the UK.
Creatively, let's just on that note. Creative is the creative. Is it the same energy? Is it the same feel, or do you feel like there's a little bit more artistic expression here versus the States? Because you noted that about the artistic, the license to have that kind of independent artistic freedom. So let's speak to creativity.
The creativity. I think for me, I've looked for companies that have been creative
Mhm.
and who do things that I think um, are pushing, I guess, pushing that boundary of dance or of the ballet or the art form.
Okay.
Um, I went to Boston because I had a good relationship with the director, and my sister was there. We danced together there. So being there has opened a lot of doors, and it was very artistic. But then when I wanted to leave, I felt like I needed more of a bigger classical sense, and I needed a new aspect on my career, and that's why I went to American Ballet Theater,
Sure.
and that gave me that those big classical performing at the Metropolitan Theater, um, and I've had amazing 3 years there, and I'm really grateful for it. But then it maybe lacked some things creatively that I was looking for,
Hmm.
and not saying that they're not creative. It's just that I was looking for something different,
Right.
and English National Ballet was really Tamara has really pushed this company in the past 7 years to where it is now. It's pretty amazing. And for me, I admire that, the push. And I also think that um, they are things they're doing artistically is really what I want to be doing. And so that was really attractive to me. And that's kind of why I came over here.
How long have you been with ENB?
So this is my second official season.
Can you imagine a life without dance? And if you weren't a dancer, what would you be?
Looking back at everything and knowing that my sister was in dance and knowing that my parents really showed us artistic things, I think I would be something in the art form. Like I've always been artistic,
Sure.
or not in the art form, in some art form. um, I've always been artistic. I've been drawn to artistic history and drawing and painting and building, dancing, music. It's I'm always interested in it. So I think I'd be something in the art in art form.
Have you imagined a life after dance, or do you think
Hmm.
dance will continue to be a part of who you are?
I think I think dance will be continue to be who I am.
Okay.
But I've thought about of different things that I could have done. Like it's funny, like I've always wanted to maybe open up a bike store, like
Okay.
a bicycle store. Or I've always wanted to like be a photographer, or there's always these things that I've thought about.
If you could go back to that teacher at CPYB who told 14-year-old Jeff that he wasn't good enough, I mean, I can think of a couple of things you would say, but what would you say to that teacher, and what would you say to that 14-year-old Jeff?
What I would say to the I guess the teacher first, I'd say thank you, because then I don't think I would have been where I am.
Mm,
And like I really think it's my life has played out to where I'm really supposed to be.
yeah.
um like I truly believe that if everything happens for a reason.
Right.
And um what I would say to 14-year-old Jeff, I'd say just keep going, work harder.
Just keep
Even
going, work harder.
um,
Now you've prepared for us at Empire. I kindly asked you to prepare for us a piece, and you've graciously prepared for a really beautiful piece. Can you just tell us about that piece and what we're about to see and the inspiration behind it?
yeah, so like I said, I like to improv a lot,
Hmm.
and I utilize it as a way of looking into what my body can do and what I can utilize out of that for choreography. It's also another just freeing thing. It's like kind of like a meditation for me, where I can kind of just let every thought go and just kind of move my body in the way I want to.
Right.
Um, and so, yeah, this is just basically an insight of what sometimes I just do.
Okay.
I put some music on and kind of just
It's almost like a
zone
glimpse.
out.
It's a glimpse into your creative mind.
Yeah, just about. And I think you'll see. I mean, it is a very personal, but also thing that I like to share as well. Like I like for people to see it and see what they think of it. Dance is freeing, and expressing yourself in that way is always fun. So
Okay.
yeah.
Well, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you. No, Jeff, thank you so much. This has been such a thrill. I mean, you've answered a lot of questions that I've had, as someone who is a lover of dance and used to dance. So thank you for being so open and honest and sharing with us your story and your experience. And now we'll see you dance.